stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Okay. Got the camera back. And we have sound. All right. Okay. Sorry about all that. You should be able to hear me now. Okay. It helps if I set up the microphone. Yeah, no, I forgot yesterday was Thursday, and I went and set up the meeting, and I had to take some of my equipment, even though no one fucking showed up. All right, that's all I'm going to say on that. I have not been treated very nice this week, and I am not happy with people at the present moment. At the moment, I don't even want to go to any of my freaking meetings or anything. I want to do. So, but you know, I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm just tired of people playing. For the love of God, we got to be honest with ourselves and what we're doing in this life. And there's a lot of people around me with a lot of fucking anger right now, and they're hiding it, and it comes out in actions. I'm going to tell you something. Everything comes out in your actions, and I will notice it. I will see it. I will know what you're doing. I know. You are not going to fucking fool me. All right. I had 12 by 12s in my bag because it was a 12 by 12 study. I'm just, I'm tired of going out of my way to do things for other people just to be shit upon. I'm tired of it. Especially coming from people in the fucking program, man. And now my cameras don't work right. Fuck this week. Fuck this week. 12 by 12. Page 60. You know, I'm still going to do what I need to do. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. Is my side of the street clean? Okay. And I put a little bit into it, but I made my amends and then moved forward. Nobody said anything. Of course, people don't say anything. They don't want to. Yeah. I don't get it. I am confused. All right. I'm going to start at the bottom of page 59 in the 12 by 12. If you want to follow along. I'm talking about cleaning house. Good old step 5. Step 5. We're in the 5th month. And if the way the daily reflection works is depending on the month is whether they're going to cover that tradition or step. So this month in the reflection, you're going to hear a lot of tradition 5 and step 5. It's kind of the theme for the month in a way. Okay. At this stage, the difficulties of trying to deal rightly with God by ourselves is twofold. Though we may first be startled to realize that God knows all about us, we are apt to get used to that quite quickly. Somehow, being alone with God doesn't seem as embarrassing as facing up to another person. It's because you can't see face. You can't see when two people talk and they can see each other's faces. You have a different conversation than you would, let's say, over the phone. Yeah. It's going to be different because your brain gets different signals. It's kind of like when you started talking on Zoom and it seemed weird because you crack a joke and nobody would laugh because everybody was muted. See, when you're on Zoom, you have to give yourself those indicators or look to see if other people are laughing or whatever. And what it does, it gives your brain an indication to move on. But that has nothing to do with cleaning house. So let's get back to this. Until we actually sit down and talk aloud. Keeping it here. Now, you ever had a great idea until it came out of your mouth? Yes, you have. We all have. That's why. Because it's different when it comes out. Your mind may there's a lot of times when I start to say something, I'm like, oh nope, that's wrong. That isn't it. I have a great idea. Why don't we? Oh, never mind. That's why. What is the other reason? Because when we say it out loud, we are in a sense telling on ourselves. And when we tell on ourselves, it loses its power. It loses its power. When we are honest, until we actually sit down and talk aloud about what we have so long hidden, our willingness to clean house is still largely theoretical. When we are honest with another person, it confirms that we have been honest with ourselves and with God. And we need that confirmation. We do. There's a couple of things that are going to come out of this. Maybe you're talking with your sponsor and you're talking about something that's just really embarrassing to you. There may be a chance that they've done something equivalent or the same thing. Birds of a feather, my friends. We tend to do the same stupid shit. We end up in weird places. Yeah. The second difficulty is this: what comes to us alone may be garbled by our own rationalization and wishful thinking. Yeah. I go through that a lot. A lot. I'd go through it last night. I was pretty upset. I was very embarrassed. I was very embarrassed. And I'm probably I'm going to have to 10th step it. Oh, yeah. The benefit of talking to another person is that we can get his direct comment and counsel on our situation, and there can be no doubt in our minds what the advice is. Going it alone in spiritual matters is dangerous. Yeah. Now, I found that guidance is needed when it came to my spirituality. Guidance is always needed. And I don't know about you, but my higher power tends to talk to his children. Sometimes I do get direct things, but even then, I need to say them out loud to another human being to see if I'm even close to correct. Okay. You'll find that anybody that has a strong spiritual sense has a guide. They will always talk to another person before moving forward. And it's because this process does a few things. In order for it to work, you're going to have a certain level of humility. I've already figured out how to. It's because my cords are gone because I use them, and then yeah. How many times have we heard well-intentioned people claim the guidance of God when it was all too plain that they were sorely mistaken, lacking both practice and humility, and that practice is talking to somebody else. They had deluded themselves and were able to justify the most errant nonsense on the ground that it was God, that this was what God had told them. That's why I say there's nothing worse than a recovered pastor. Because they do that. Well, God came to me and he said to heal you. He said to heal you. Heal you, my child. Kabap. Nonsense. Nonsense. All great spiritual leaders have a guide. We understand we're not better than, we're not greater than. No. You know, it ticks me off because I'm just some dude trying to help, man. And when I got people pushing against me, it kind of pisses me off. I mean, it doesn't piss me off. It disappoints me. Yeah. I'm more disappointed by people's actions than I am by the actual action. Right? Does it hurt? Sure, it hurts. I thought these people were my friends. But I've learned another lesson. It is worth nothing that people of very high spiritual develop. It is worth noting. No, it's not worth nothing. It is worth noting that people of very high spiritual development always insist on checking with friends or spiritual advisors the guidance they feel they have received from God. Surely then a novice ought not lay himself open to the chance of making foolish, perhaps tragic blunders in this fashion. While the comment or advice of others may be by no means infallible, it is likely to be far more specific than any direct guidance we may receive while we are still so inexperienced and established in contact with a higher power greater than ourselves. Now, yeah, I usually tend to know whether it's coming from me or a different place, but I've been fooled before. I've fooled myself before on that. So I don't make that mistake. Let's get to the reading. It wasn't unusual for me to talk to God and myself and about my character defects, but to sit down face to face and openly discuss these intimacies with another person was much more difficult. It is. That's the hard part, I think. I think that's probably the hardest part for everybody, knowing that they're going to have to sit down with somebody and admit it. It can be embarrassing. Okay. But you have two choices in this life. Okay. And avoidance isn't one of them. Okay. I talk a lot that you are going to, you are not going to get away with anything in this world. You're just not. Okay. So you have two choices. Okay. You can either take your character defects, bring them out into the light of day intentionally, or one day it will come out and God will force you to deal with it. And it'll come out in trauma. Those are your choices. I know it sucks. Kinda. Not really. If you do it, the consequences are phenomenal. They are. You will see things differently. You will be rocketed into what we call the fourth dimension. And you'll know if you're in the fourth dimension. A lot of people think they're in the fourth dimension, but they haven't done really the work necessary. See, and there's another component here, and it's time. Okay, now time isn't necessarily your friend, but it's going to take time to heal, and it's going to take more than a year. It's going to take more than a couple of months. I put myself through a lot. So, gosh, I need to be a little bit nice to myself and give myself a chance to heal. And this is probably going to be kind of slow. I feel like when we force things, it doesn't work. Things have got to come naturally. Right? When they don't, then they're forced. And when I force something, like going into the fourth step without doing the third step properly. There's a way to do it. And from my understanding, there's a lot of people that are telling people, go read to page 62. Well, you're skipping step 3. You're pretty much skipping it. You're supposed to be the guide to introduce God to them, and you're not even covering the first 62 pages. I'm also seeing a lot of people relying on their sponsors way too much. Oh, my sponsor won't go to that meeting, so I'm not going to go to that meeting. No, if that's how it works, that is a mutual admiration society, and eventually you're probably all going to get drunk. I've seen it happen. Groups of people can get groups of people drunk. Just watch a group of people come out of treatment together. Yeah. That thing will fall apart quickly without the right guidance. You know, these sponsorship meetings that we're having. I think what's going on there is the reliance upon sponsorship is too much. Okay. I am not friends with my sponsees. I don't know them well enough. Okay, I'm friendly. You bet. Do I love them? Yeah. Yes, I do. Do I care what happens to them? Sure, I do. They're my sponsees, man. I give a fuck. But I ain't your friend. I'm your guide. And I need to be that guide. I need to be that person. Okay. Does that make me more than? No, it doesn't. It's just my job at the moment. And my job is to ruin your drinking career, not make friends. I'm not coming. Am I coming to AA to make friends? No. That's the dividend. The fellowship is a dividend. But to sit down face to face and openly discuss these intimacies with another person was much more difficult. I recognized in the experience, however, a similar relief to the one I had experienced when I first admitted I was an alcoholic. I began to appreciate the spiritual significance of the program and that this step was just an introduction to what was yet to come in the remaining steps, 7 steps, the remaining 7 steps. All right, clean house, clean your side of the street. Before I go, I want to give you something a little bit more positive. Um, we started Al-Anon yesterday, and it was a success, man. And they even wrote me this nice little note and everything, and it felt really good. The fact that nobody showed up kind of took that feeling away from me, but nobody showed up to my meeting. I've been there 3 months. Okay, we're ending this on a good note, Tion. And I feel crazy right now. I feel loony. I just feel like I'm in PTSD mode or something. I don't. So, but I thought that was pretty cool. So that if nothing else, then my efforts made it so that Al-Anon can meet, and that's something. So, all right, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. It's always good to see my friends. I love you. Peace out and have a day.